As George said, I'm responsible for the DITA Open Toolkit documentation at the moment. For those of you that don't know me, I'm an American information architect and DITA consultant. And through my work on the toolkit, I have had the pleasure of getting to know Jarno and Robert, the lead developers of the team. And in working on the toolkit docs, I sometimes travel to Helsinki to work with Jarno a little bit on these things, sit down together because it's easier to work virtually when we've spent some time together in a room. And this has given me the opportunity to come into contact with some little fragments of Finnish culture and try to learn a few words of Finnish now and then. Some of them are of limited utility, but I learned a new word recently that, Jarno, I hope you will excuse my pronunciation. I believe the word is, they have very creative words for things. I believe the word is kalsarikenni, yeah, which, if I understand correctly, means sitting at home and drinking in your underwear. Alone. Alone. I learned of this word, to his credit, not from Jarno, who's a straight-edge person who doesn't drink, but from the Finnish sort of Foreign Office. This was something that they wanted the world to know about Finland, right? And so I thought I'd give a similar talk today about sitting at home alone, drinking beer that you made yourself, and unzipping zip files, right? Okay? So that's the talk you came to today. So let me begin. I think that's what we'll be talking about. So what's Homebrew, in all seriousness? And why would you use such a thing? What's the difference in installing DITA Open Toolkit this way versus the way that you've done it so far? And there will be a little bit of a demo as well. So, has anyone ever heard of this thing before? Some of you familiar with it? Heard of it? Of those, how many have used it? Okay, good. So, isn't that an interesting correlation? Most of the people that have heard of this thing use it. That tells you it's actually quite useful. It makes our lives quite easier. Now, to be fair, I'm going to be speaking of something that works right now on the Mac. There are similar solutions for other platforms. I'm going to be talking about this one. So, why would people choose to use a thing like this? What's wrong with the other way? Well, first of all, when you get a new machine, the operating system includes the basics, but there are many things that you need in your everyday work that just aren't there out of the box. So something like this allows us to install very common utilities like the UNIX, Unix command line tools, even macOS applications that you would otherwise have to go to a website and download a file, unpack a disk image. On the Mac, you take that disk image and open it up, and then you drag an icon into an applications folder, and that's all very tedious if you're used to getting things done quickly. So this provides a way of automating that. You can even do this with fonts. There's no need to go to a website and download fonts or copy them from your old backup disk. Just install your fonts from the command line. So the advantage here is that your configuration also becomes more reproducible because you can store your configuration as code. There's a file that says, on my machine, I want all of these programs in these specific versions, and then you can just run that file, and all of those programs in those specific versions will be installed. So when you get a new machine, you run a script, go have your favorite beverage, and when you come back in half an hour, all of that stuff is installed and your machine is ready to go. So this allows you to automate that environment setup process. It also helps with build servers and things like that, where you need a reproducible environment and don't want to set it up yourself each time. Also, once you have those tools installed and new versions of those tools are released, it makes it quite easy to update. Single command on the command line will tell you which versions of your software are outdated, and another command will update them. So that makes it quite simple. What's different about installing the toolkit this way than the way that you're used to? First off, you don't need to know where to go to get it. You don't need to know which version is the latest one. If you just say that you want to install the toolkit, the package manager will take care of downloading it for you. It will install it to a special place on your system that's hidden away you don't need to look at during the day, but that's where your installed software lives. And then those packages are symlinked. A virtual link is created to the file in a special folder that's dedicated for such command line utilities that on the Mac is available specifically for user-installed software. And so the idea of isolating the software in a user local folder means that when you update your operating system, a new version of the operating system from Apple won't bunny stomp the software that you've installed because it's installed in a special place that's reserved. And another thing that we Mac users like is that there's no Windows baggage here. We don't need to install those, what are those things called? Batch scripts? What was that? What were those old scripts called that people used to use to start the toolkit? I forget. No. Start command, CMD. Yes, I haven't used them in so long. I forgot the names, but we don't need them because the DITA command makes them obsolete, so we can get rid of those, and that kind of streamlines things a little bit. But enough talk. It's time to show me something. And the next part is for Leaf, right? Because we learned earlier that Leaf likes videos. So, but it's a video, man. Stay in the room. You get a video. So let's install the DITA-Open Toolkit via Homebrew. So the first thing that we do is we open up our shell and we say brew update to get the latest version of the packages. It's already up to date. Wonderful. Let's look for packages that have DITA or DITA-OT in their name, and the package registry will be searched. We will find something after a moment. It takes a bit to look and see because there are lots of packages. Oh, we found one called DITA-OT. What is DITA-OT? Well, DITA-OT is, in this case, a stable version of 3.1.2. So let's install it. Okay. So Homebrew goes and fetches the latest version. In this case, it's 3.1.2 from the website, downloads it. Now, we're seeing in this demonstration the 3.1.2. This is a pre-recorded video, of course. If you were to do this now, you would get the 3.2 release that was made available this morning. This is the installation process. Yay, DITA-OT is just about installed. And there it is. It's in our local package Cellar. It has taken up 56 megs of space on our disk. We verify that it's there. Where is it? User local DITA, we find it. We run the DITA command to verify the version and see that, yes, indeed, the DITA command does respond to input and announces itself as version 3.1.2. We could now, of course, take the DITA command, give it some input, and get our generated output. So that's it. It's as simple as that. So if you'd like to use this and you're on the Mac, you will find it at brew.sh, Homebrew. And then once you've installed that, you can install DITA-Open Toolkit this way. Big thanks to Sean Molinar, who can't be with us today, but he actually took this and implemented it. This is something that we on the project team have been thinking about doing for a long time. I think I put this on my to-do list 4 years ago, and just never got around to doing it because updating the docs and other things was just more important. And someone out there cared enough about this to do it, and then approached us and said, but you guys actually build the toolkit. You know when new versions are available. Would you like to maintain this? And I said yes. So it's there. So thanks to Sean for this. And that's it from my side. If you have any questions, I'm here.
Thank you.